In this video, we'll do the day 5 nap session, and then I want to give another shout out to F-Scott because he had an additional point here being the order of the ingredients. So in the ingredient list here, he was asking why the... Wait, hang on, come on, there we go. He was asking why these were not sorted. The main reason is the database that I was finding the information from, which I assume is directly from the data mine, RaenonX. You can see the sources in the video description. Those were not sorted, so for me to actually go through and organize this based on my setup, I would have to go through every single line of every single Pokemon and sort them. And when these are presented, they are on a straight line. So first it's tomato on the level 1, and then 30, and then 60. So it's just a long line with 6 ingredients and their numbers. And so it was a lot of work, but hopefully you guys can give me some feedback in the comments on this as well. But hopefully it looks better now than it did. And so for every single Pokemon from now on, the AAA ingredient list will be on the top. So we can run a quick experiment here. I know Venusaur was one that was really messy. So we can have a look at that. And we can have a look at the Absol. And so all the triple ingredients should be sorted, and then it should also be more clear for those of you who are a little bit on the newer end when it comes to these ABC patterns. So for example, at level 1 here for the Absol, cacao is always A. And then if you have apples in the double spot here, or in the second spot, you have a B ingredient. And if you also have mushrooms, so you got cacao, apples, mushrooms, then your pattern is ABC. And then on the Absol, if you have cacao, apple, cacao, then it's A, B, and back to A. So let's hop into the nap session. Hopefully this time it didn't mess me up. And then I've continued to play around a little bit with the audio, and hopefully it should be better. I think depending on what you guys think now of the audio, then the next upgrade will be to get an Apple TV to connect my phone to. Right now I'm using a very awful dongle that I paid $60 for. It's the official product, but I don't think they really updated whatever is going on in this one in like a decade. So to actually be able to put up this image, you can see particularly the cyan and the blue here is a little bit odd, but for the most part it is the only color that kind of looks off. A little bit on the reds every now and then too, but like I'm gonna show you just in a video here so that you can see the amount of effort went into just trying to figure this out. So my source looks like this. It is really not good. And especially when we go into the Pokemon here, it looks really, really bad. And so I had to add some color correction and some filters. And at that point, it kind of looks okay. But particularly in the summaries, it's really, really awful. So got a Cubone on top belly here. Got a Snover, got a Spheal, and we have a Wynot, Togepi, and Swablu. So pretty excited about the Snover. We did get a Pokemon to review today after all. Alright, let's see it. Got a number of Dream Shards here as well. Gonna be totally honest, I did spend some not Dream Shards, but the Sleep Points on some candy today. I rarely do that, but I was just this close to getting Absol to level 30. Hey, it's hungry? That's amazing! I am gonna maximize the value of my biscuits here over the guaranteed catch on the Snover here, so potentially I won't get to review this one today. We'll just have to see what happens. Come on, Snover, I know you want it. All full. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, at that point, I will get another Spheal. And I guess we'll just find a Snover tomorrow then, hopefully. It seems that with these nap time sessions, I do get at least one Snover every session, so that's pretty good. And then it does seem like I really try to go for that Cubone last time, so I'm gonna feed a biscuit here as well. So 2 biscuits, 3 biscuits spent here. It's a bit on the upper end based on the number of bundles that I typically get. I don't really buy all that many of them. So for the most part, I rely on the sleep points to get those additional Poke Biscuits. And then with all these events coming up, that's always a little bit problematic. So gonna select the Spheal here for the candy. For sure the better candy. Walrein, S tier, one of the best Pokemon. We got a Spheal and a Cubone instead of the Snover. But yeah, potentially I could have just spent the premium biscuit on the Snover and then saved 3 Poke Biscuits, but overall the value is here. So we got a Serious Nature on the Spheal that is neutral, not berry finding in the first slot. And we have to see what's going on with this one. So Research EXP bonus, inventory, skill level up S, and berry finding level 100. That's a bit too late for my liking, unfortunately. I am on the hunt for another berry finding Walrein. I just want a pristine Walrein that's fast and with a berry finding. The one I have now is very skill based, and to an extent I do like it, but I would like another Walrein that's just super busted for the berries and the berries only. Alright, the Rash Nature, that is really good on Ingredient Specialist, but this is a Berry Specialist. I haven't really pushed it past level 10 yet, so getting close to that berry finding hunt. But for the most part, it seems like got a helping bonus. That's not too bad. Ingredient Finder S, inventory, skill trigger helping speed, and the ingredient finding up. So it's not going to be it for the Cubone here. Not looking for the ingredients. We can bring up the Marowak just to look at the stats here. So obviously it is a slow Pokemon. You will want some speed on it, and then it is a berry specialist, so you will want the berry finding as well. And on the nature, Rash, not too good on the berry Pokemon. So it's a bit unfortunate with the Spheal and the Cubone, but I am on the hunt for both of those, so it all adds up over time. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I should be pretty close here to, yeah, the 17th cooking, because I wanted to go over a little bit on the strategy as well in this video, just because I make these incremental steps and progress in between my overall content creation, so that is a little bit interesting. I am looking to use some ginger just because I don't want more than like 50 of them, so I can empty out a little bit here. If I go for another 8, then I should have 50 of the ginger. At that point I'm pretty satisfied on the Tyranitar. And then what I am going to do on a Tyranitar actually is start to overstack pretty soon. So I'm going to empty out some of these more higher value ingredients. Let's see, not the mushrooms and not the leeks. Potentially I could save up more cacao than leeks. I think overall having 100 leeks would be pretty strong. And so I think I'm just gonna keep it at this. And starting now, I will be bringing out my cooking pot Pokemon, and I won't cook a meal until the Flower Festival. So that's a bit of an extreme take on it, but I just have a tremendous opportunity here to do a lot of damage at Snowdrop with salads during an event that really boosts the cooking aspect of the game. So I'm gonna hop into my bag here once all my Pokemon are fed, and then I can consider what ingredients I should throw out, because I literally have no option here at this point. I could potentially potentially cook a third meal today and just empty things out that way. But for the most part, I think I'm just gonna go for it and just take the dream shards. So, got the fiery herbs. Gonna throw those away as well. All the sausage. And the eggs. Oh, this is extreme, but it's really worthwhile for that insane boost for the event. So, no potatoes. No tomatoes. And we're left with these 6 ingredients. So, the ginger, beans, mushroom, and leek are useful for the ninja salad. That's the only thing I'll be cooking all day every day during the flower festival. And then I am looking to get as many cacao as possible. I'm obviously not going to throw out the tails here because those have a higher value than the cacao as a filler, but I mainly have a cacao farmer in the Absol. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to switch the Tyranitar out. I don't need beans and I don't need ginger. And then I'll bring the Tyranitar on the field again once I start the sneaky snacking with the Raikou. And then on the mushrooms, I'm thinking potentially to have around 200 cacao. That would leave enough space here for 250 mushrooms and then around 100 large leeks. So for the time being, I will be using the Absol and the Sylveon because I do rely a bit on the energy for now. And then you can see that I have my Ditto and the Dugtrio here for the leeks. And then as I get the herbs on the Gengar, I'll have to throw those out. And the Absol haven't really produced much at all yet in terms of mushroom or cacao, but that will come in time. And then just throughout the week, I'll have to empty out all this extra stuff that I'm getting from the Nightcap Pikachu, with the exception of the cacao, which is nice. And some of those herbs on the Gengar until I really have enough mushrooms. So to an extent, I could potentially consider the herbs as a filler. I'll have to think about that. Let's see here. So if we compare, let's see, fiery herb. Yeah, that was another feedback I got. Someone pointed out that it's not fiery herb, it's fiery herb. Then we have the cacao. There we go. There is a bit of difference here in terms of value. Overall, I'm wondering if I start overstacking on the Walrein, on the Tyranitar, on the Ditto, and the Glaceon, if that overall will be better value than the incremental difference between the herbs that I now am throwing out and the cacao that I'm taking in. So I'll have to think about that over today and tomorrow potentially. And then I want to get on with the overstacking as soon as possible because this could be really exciting. I'm hoping to cross like 2.5 million by the end of this flower festival and potentially like 2.8. That is a bit of a crazy target though, but at that point I would have a new record on my Drowsy. So we'll just have to see what happens, and I do look forward to it. So gonna poke into my team here. One thing that I have been considering is before I start overstacking on the Raikou, I could be just maxing out my pot already on the Glaceon and the Flareon and the Magnezone, and so I think potentially that is what I'm gonna do here. I am still quite short on the mushrooms. I feel somewhat satisfied with the number of leeks, honestly. I haven't had much issue at all once I got the Dugtrio, and I think during the Flower Festival, could potentially just run the Ditto and the Dugtrio, and that should be fine. But I don't want to run the Gengar. So, at the very least, Gengar is going to be on the field and Ditto for a while. And so, to an extent, I wonder if I take out the Ditto and then have, let's see, we can just jump in the team here. Need to collect everything. There's a lot of thinking and talking out loud with these strategy adjustments on the go. So what I'm thinking is I have been running the overcharge strategy quite a bit. And so if I show you my Flareon, it's got 97%. Oof, that's unfortunate. And to an extent, I can't really run these too hard into the ground because then I will have an issue on the Friday in the flower event. But that is 2 weeks until. So if I multiply 5 by 14, which is the daily boost that they get, I don't think I want to run the Flareon into the ground, but I am going to put it on the team here. And then what I am going to do is put on the Glaceon. You can see it's got 150%. And then I'm going to swap out the Dugtrio for now. And also put on the Magnezone, which is also at 100. And oh, you can't see anything. That's unfortunate. So, I don't know for how long the setup here was funny, but essentially the Flareon is at 97% here. The Glaceon is at 150. And so is the Magnezone. So I'm thinking to just run these 3 and start just stacking up on that extra cooking pot. And then at some point I will switch then into the overstacking team. So a lot going on here on the team. I'm going to continue looking for leaks on the Ditto and the mushrooms and the Gengar. So I think that's going to be quite interesting on the team. And then I took off my healer because I will be running Flareon a little bit into the ground here, possibly a few hours. And then I can consider bringing back onto the team the Sylveon, the Magnezone, and the Glaceon, and then to an extent the Ditto doesn't really need all that much. And the Gengar I will be having overnight for those mushrooms. So it's going to be an interesting setup, and then I'll just have to give you an update throughout tomorrow and on Monday what I'm doing. And I think overall this team is going to look pretty strong in the flower event. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and for leaving feedback in the comments. And I'm trying to do my best to bring you the best content. So thank you for watching.